Good evening, one and all. It is Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and it's time we jump into some more good old Warframe. Warframe, there it is. Also, I still didn't move my face back over. I'm there. There we go. Right then. It's fine. It's totally normal stuff to have to fix things like that. It's fine. Yo!
Button.
Indeed, that is a button. Andrew 445 up onto 4 or 5 months. Much appreciated for the incredible amount of support there. Cheers, Andrew. And that is a very fresh cup of tea. That's it, we'll have to do. But yes, welcome in everyone. Today might be a little bit more testing heavy than you may be used to on these streams. I don't know, we test a fair amount of things, but very deep into science mode today. Very deep into science mode. As you're saying, no, my stream streak. Twitch app really doesn't like multi-stream days. Watching, but guess Twitch could figure out whom I was watching. Yeah, if you're watching multiple streams at once, that usually gets Twitch to go, no you're not. And you kind of have to pick. Yeah, that messes with things. Kelton's on 75 though, so congrats Kelton. Right, let me just double check. What have I got as my loadout here? What have we got on you at the moment? Because I've been fitted with the inner dance, let's see. Yeah, honestly, this will be fine. We've got electric on here, we've got influence, standard enough. So you know what, let's just do a mission. Let's just do a good old tech rot exterminate. Take a few swings at things. Yep. Now, it says kill enemies with abilities. I'm not going to do that. In fact, I'm not going to use abilities until I have completed the mission objective, which happens to be kill 208 enemies. Easy peasy. So this entire thing is just a no-shooty worm, standard enough Lavos, and just inner Demgo Burr. That's it. And we'll wait to see if someone can figure out what's gone wrong. It hasn't gone wrong yet, probably. You might see it go wrong, you might not, but something will go wrong. And what that something is part of the questions I have encountered whilst just investigating melee in general. And this is not exclusive to melee either. So that's fun. That is fun. Bust into the cache before it's smoked. See? Is the multi-stream that got you? Was it Azrael? Okay, that shouldn't have affected your streak, because other people were watching that stream as well, and they didn't have their streak get wrecked. So, not sure on that. Because like if you watched the multi-stream link that was linked in the channel that day, then that may have affected it. But yeah, if you're watching specifically my stream, that shouldn't have had an effect. Alright, let's just grab this, let's pop you in over here, grab that one and pop it in over here, nice and easy. Now let's take our hydrate from Madam Malik.
Fam, tech rot's well, man. Situation's about to get proper mental.
Yup. I mean, so far so good, you know, we found the cache, that was nice and easy, the enemies are a little bit displaced, but they're gonna catch up, and more are gonna spawn in the general area. There they are, right on cue, no problem whatsoever. The thing is already broken, but again, you may not have seen it. But it has already broken. We're a little over halfway through the mission, got less than 100 kills to go. I still have yet to cast an ability, which is the correct way to do this right now, because I'm not focused on the abilities. First time chat, quick question, is a double energy over 500 bugged or no? The double energy over 500. I'm not sure what you're asking, sorry. Also, I hate it when this happens, when there's one enemy somewhere that prevents the entire mission from progressing. Because it doesn't want to give me a proper waypoint, because it's like, oh, but there's this one enemy that decided not to attack you. And it was a little mite. Ugh. What frame am I using? This is Lavos. Hey, there we go. And if you're responding to someone else, please use the replies. I can't see if you're replying to someone. I'm reading your message. You think there might be a bug with Atlas and the shards? I wasn't aware of one, but if you're experiencing one and can prove it, report it to DE. Can't say I have played Atlas in a hot minute, so a bug may have been introduced that I just haven't seen on him. Alright, we are getting close to this mission done. Close. Yo!
A button that taunts me to press it.
It is a very taunting button, isn't it? You're not the first person commenting on the button here today, but there we are, all the same. Thank you very much, Miracle Raven, hitting 6 months of pressing that subscribe button. Much appreciated. Enjoy your lovely golden badge you have now. You've leveled up. Alright, about 10 more kills to go. Nearly there. Cheers, under average, yep. Apparently, warriors here are messing with the mission, and to be honest, that could be a good enough explanation for what I'm about to show y'all. Because this mission has just been tech rot and tech rot and tech rot. We're just killing a whole bunch of tech rot. That is the job. Can it stop doing this, please? Twice in one mission is rude. Attack me. Your job is to attack me, not sit in a corner and feel sad for yourself, stupid thing. Anyway. I really hate it when exterminates do that. When enemies just decide not to attack. But here we go. We've completed the mission now. We have killed 208 enemies. I'm not going to kill any more. Let's walk away from these. I may have killed 209 or 210, but yeah, 208 enemies killed. 208 tech rot. We saw only tech rot. Everyone in agreement? Is there anyone who disagrees with my assessment there? Or is that exactly what the UI just said? Because I killed 275 enemies. Not 208. I killed 275, according to the UI there. And I've yet to figure this one out. Does that even add up there? 37, 84, 31, 19, 18, 47... 236, which is neither 208 nor 275. Huh? I didn't even think to mouse over it sooner. So... So this is a little bit of a problem. This is a little bit of a problem. Hello, Moon. Yeah, so how do you measure if something is better than something else? I would usually go for, do you complete the objective faster, or do you get more kills per minute, in terms of, is it a better killing weapon? And I have run this mission many, many times over. Now, unfortunately, you can't just go by time, because you could end up with more enemies you need to kill. Excuse me. You could have more tiles to traverse through, hence more enemies to kill, and you could have it where it's an awkward cache to go and open up. Sorry, my courier's arguing again. So just going by time isn't the greatest. It is an indicator, but it's not the greatest. And likewise, total kills isn't the greatest, even if you stop killing at the moment the mission completes 200 kills or the total objective or whatever it is, because the mission can't seem to agree on how many kills you got. So I'm running into a little bit of an issue. But here is a further interesting thing. I have been testing this with various setups. I have tested this with melee influence. I have tested this without melee influence. I have tested this with a vortex-based inodem, a toxin-based inodem, a viral-based inodem. I have tested this with burst and incarnon, both modded for heat and modded for blast. And the only time that I got something that didn't cause such a ridiculous difference was Burston set for heat. But let's go ahead and redo that mission with Burston set for heat. Just going to take just a moment here. I'm currently not using my Riven so as not to have that, well, basically cheat. So what I usually have on this is a corrosive heat setup. It's great for armored enemies, which the Techrots are not. I'm very aware. Don't care. This is where my Riven would go, but right now we're using bladed rounds. Let's do that mission again. Now, when I use burst and set to heat on this, I end up with a slower mission. Yeah. Alice Guy, what are you intending to show me? Is it anything to do with what I'm doing right now, or are you looking to do something of your own interest? Let's make our way through this. Now, the Burston I am a huge fan of in terms of his killing power. As we can see, it is very effective at just kind of tearing through stuff. And this is without having any abilities to support it whatsoever. It's just Burston with a Bulwark. Bulwark because it's just the best damage bonus I have access to. But the thing is this is still slower than the Inodam. Or is it? It is, but it isn't, but it is, but it isn't. We have 201 enemies to kill in this mission, so bear in mind that number. Don't lose it out of your mind. 201 enemies to kill. Atlas build after my testing. Okay, that's going to be not this stream then, because this stream is not going to be done in 5 minutes of this curiosity. I'm going to skip that pickup. I know that offends people, but it's not why we're here. There we go.
Proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook.
Let's go get those hitters. So with the Burston, it is a precision weapon. It has punch through because I'm an armored Warframe, but mostly it is a precision weapon. It kills the target if you point it at. It has a very small and very weak AoE around the Incarnate explosion. That damage dealing just doesn't matter. So we're just gonna keep on shooting. But this does mean that it has limited scaling. Because even if you insta-kill every enemy you pointed at, you still need to take the time to point at every enemy individually. And that takes time. Believe it or not, that takes time. Versus an AoE weapon, certainly an AoE that goes through walls, where you don't need to point at every target. You just point in the general direction of where you want things to be dead, and press the stop being alive button. And indeed, for many AoE weapons, that is all it comes to. Why is it ignoring the finisher kill bonus from Inodam? The finisher kill bonus from Inodam, Chesbot. I know that the Inodam has a variety of bonuses, but you're going to have to remind me of this particular one, sorry. It's been a hot minute since I've cared that much about finishers. Oop, these are spawning. Let's get rid of those. Now these are spawn. Let's shoot these all down. About 30-ish kills to go. Fun fact, those little mites that spawn, the explosive mites, they also count as kills. Despite how ludicrously easy they are to kill, you just put a single shot in their direction, they just fall apart. Where is everything else? Is it above or below me? Oh, here it is. Think it's the maggots not counting? No, these little explosive miasmites, they count. I've checked as much myself. I would demonstrate, but this is also something for time trial. Also, Acolyte, yay! Where are all the enemies now? They're all above me, somewhere, somehow above me. There we go, got rid of Malice. Alright. Oh, goodness sake. Where are y'all? You can't be unalerted upstairs and whatnot. How? This UI. Towards kill count for exterminate? I mean, it was last time I checked, which was today. It could be the game decides to only sometimes do it, which would add to the difficulty, but yes. There we go. Okay, right. Interesting. Okay, this time it's not counting. That might be our missing kills. But still leaves open yet other questions. Like how the burst in here only ends up with 28 too many kills. Because I was shooting basically everything until mission reaches completion. Everything!
And so we learn the importance of clarity.
But that... Okay, we got a little bit screwed by the UI just going, yeah, no, there's some enemies, but they're in the ceiling, go figure it out. But that was still slower. You could feel that there wasn't that much time wasted, and that took over 6 minutes, which is actually very, very long. One Malice in there. If we add these all up, 38, 91, 26, 16, 17, 37, and 1, 226. We're missing 3. But it still doesn't add up. But yeah, on the previous mission, we had 208-ish kills, according to the Exterminator, but 275 total. Now, in a mission where we had 201 kills to get, we're only at 229. Go figure. Also fun, Techrot Miasmite, 37 supposedly killed. So I want to add to that now, Atlas guy, if the miasmites don't count, which we did just see one didn't count, if 37 of my kills were miasmites that don't count, how did I get 201 kills? I can't answer that. I am currently lacking the information to answer that. And this might be why you and I thought different things on the miasmites. Maybe some of them count and some of them don't. So let's change my bursting. Let's make a very simple change to my bursting here. I'm going to change its damage type. And that's it. Let's do that again. Gotta move the bike around in a loading screen, of course. This time, only 190 targets. We'll see how that goes for us. 5 kills, 5 kills. So far it agrees, that's nice. So the car I blew up didn't count. It's not something as mundane as that. The counter not counting properly? Well, I'm glad we got that far. Unfortunately, just it not counting properly is insufficient for me. I would like to know a little bit more, so I know what I am assessing.
Now listen up. If you get close, you'll
What is it
start
not
counting.
counting properly?
Bust into the cash.
And unless you know that for certain, please don't type an answer. I'm vocalizing the question I am investigating.
Yo! Supply cash clocked you. A 12 on charge or 2 will melt that lock proper.
Alright. We have 2 minutes to crack the vault thingy-bobbity. Due to misalignment, trackers right, but nope. You already stated as an absolute fact that they didn't count, but then I've just given you evidence that that's not quite how it works, and now you're coming out with another absolute fact, so no, you are now disqualified from having opinions. I just said don't give an answer unless you are certain, and you're doubling down. No. Let's grab this over here. Where are we at? I'm on 82 kills. 85 enemies have been killed. So now it's gone in the other direction. Now it's gone in the complete other direction. I have more kills to my credit than I have kills.
Tickle's proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of
Yep.
every nook and crook. I say,
That, there's a lot of screwy things going on at once. And unfortunately, it makes it a lot harder to do what I intended to do for the last couple of days. Because it comes back to the question in the stream title, how do you measure when something is better? How do you measure it when the game disagrees on what is happening? The game disagrees with itself on what is happening. We're at 128, 133. I've now got 146 kills. We were 3 behind, now we're 13 over. Something's happening. Hello there, little thing. Right, 148 kills, 135 on the tracker. 149 kills, 135 on the tracker, so again, that one didn't count. Let's see, we've got another miasmite there. 149, 135. Oh, 2 kills, but 2 on the tracker this time. 137 and 151. So those miasmites are counting. But then another miasmite didn't count. Miasmites are not just miasmites. There are factions within miasmites. Some of them are tech rot and should be exterminated. Others are... is my official answer. Yeah, this is problematic. What's worse is that I cannot be certain as to the nature as to how this is occurring. Because specifically the heat bursting out of all of my tests so far stood out as having a lower incidence of this issue, as I just demonstrated moments ago. When we come to the end of this mission, I'm wondering to see just how much of a an inaccuracy blast person's gonna have. How much of a discrepancy, I suppose, is a better word. But they're all just inaccurate. Alright, there we go. That's my kills. That's my kills. Stop there.
nice one.
We are over by 49. That is a significant increase compared to the heat burst, and still less than what the Inadem influence got. You're not speaking from facts, you're speaking from seeing spaghetti. Nope, that's... Alright, my guy, before you piss me off into getting a timeout or worse, please step back from this cliff edge. There is no need for you to attempt to defend yourself while doubling down on the whole, I'm not speaking facts, I'm just saying things in a matter-of-fact way. Like, just walk away from that. You can interact in other ways, it's fine. If you still want to say things, still want to type things, go right ahead. But just walk back from this cliff. It's for the best. Under Average asking a very salient question, does this happen on other Exterminate missions? That is a very interesting question. Let's find out. Seeing as the Inadem so far has been the most egregious one for these problems, just double check on the setup there. Yep, still set to the influence one. I didn't mess with that, that's good. Seeing as that is the one that was most egregious, let's take it over to a good old standard Adaro. Let's just see what happens here, shall we? Now, surely it's not going to be weird here as well. Let's find out. I don't actually know. Now, the Grineer are a lot tougher. So it's going to take a little longer to get the Inadem up to power here. The Tekrot are basically glorified infested after all. Alright, with 22 in, 26 kills. Ah, beans. Already it's happening! Already! 29 kills, 25 on the tracker. What did I kill that was a kill but wasn't a kill? 28 to 32. We're still at +4, so those two counted correctly. I think. Kill both of you. 34 to 20... Nope, wait, it updated. It took a moment, but it got there. Hold. Okay, it waits for them to fully disintegrate before crediting the kill. That's interesting. Could be related. We are... Yep, still 4 kills to flush. So no more magic kills from anywhere just yet. Am I applying any radiation? I am not. But this has happened with multiple setups now. In varying degrees of insanity. Alright, just killed a bunch of stuff. We are now 5 kills over. So another one of the kills that just happened here wasn't a kill. I don't know which one it was, but something here was a kill when it wasn't a kill. Again, we have to wait for the body to fully disintegrate, but that one got tracked correctly. Took a moment, but it got there. All of these have just died. Okay, we're at 59, 64. Still only a Delta 5.
Inform the queens we have found their subject.
Still 5. So far, so good. Well, I mean, it's still 5 kills unaccounted for, and no explanation as to why, but so far, so good. Just cut through all these lot for a moment. Get rid of you. Right then. 89 kills, 94, still 5. I don't know what these 5 are. Because it's not happening a lot here, compared to the Tekrot it happened massively on. But it happened. I don't know if there's something that these guys spawn which I can kill but doesn't count as a kill. Oh, we're at 7 now. No, wait, are we? No, 6. Still 6. It was too early on the kill happening. This could be weird in itself, because do we kill them, don't we kill them? It's a net 6. Yeah. Have we already ruled out enemies spawn directly from another such as hierarchies? So it could be to do with that here. However, what enemies spawn enemies in the Tekrot missions? To the tune of having, what was it, like 70 too many kills.
You have broken their ranks.
A full 1/4 of all of my kills weren't exterminate kills. 1/4 of them. That's a lot. And weirder still, that didn't occur to that same extent when using the Burston. An explosive Burston had something like 40 too many, and a non-explosive Burston had about 20 too many. And yeah, the mites both did and didn't count, which is even more perplexing. And it's like, are some of these spawned and some of these are mission spawned? Boilers or whatever the Tekrot counterpart? Well, there isn't a Tekrot boiler. So yeah, if we have a look. Ooh, let's add all of these up. Lots of numbers, lots of numbers. 45, 2, 2, 14, 3, 9, 5, 4, 11, 3, 8, 5, 6, 12. 1, 2, 1, 1. Total is 134. In case I mistyped on the calculator, I'm going to just do that again. 45, 2, 2, 14, 3, 9, 5, 4, 11, 3, 8, 5, 6, 12, 1, 2, 1, 1. 134. So the number of kills I got to complete the mission there is not the number of kills that I got, is not the number of units in total that I killed. Eddie saying 9 different, same as the amount of latches, could be a coincidence. Well, that's the thing, if you see the number of latches is 9, but I'm missing 9 kills, then if you're saying that those 9 were not counted, then I'm missing 18 kills. And if you're saying they were double counted, why the fuck would they be double counted? Acolytes shouldn't count? Good thing I didn't kill one. You know? And that would be 1 Acolyte if it did even spawn. I just grab my Vosper because these are both maxed out. Oops. Been running a few missions apparently. There's definitely angst in it. Oh, sorry, did I kill 1 angst and forgot about it? Okay, 1 then. Sorry, yes, angst. There is an angst now. 1. Excellent. My bad. The acolytes are complete nothing to me these days, but my bad on that, sorry.
Where would the sanctuary be without you?
The only time I ever care about acolytes these days is it malice and I need to roll before I shoot, or is it violence and I need to not get nullified? The rest of them kind of just... Here, Goblin saying, I want to do the 1999 weekly to get 150 melee kills. You usually have to go to 210 for it. Yeah, melee does seem to be doing a hell of a lot more than it should. Okay, so let's get us a Seeker. Let's just grab 1 standard Seeker. Let's see what happens here. Hello! Roll it at me. Okay. And if I just dome you? Okay, so the one that he threw at me, and it rolled, and then it fell off of me, and then it popped on its own accord, that didn't count at all. But the Seeker and the Latch are there, they're both visible on this. We see 2 kills in the list, we see 2 kills there. Yeah. Well, the thing, Ellie, I just let a Latcher grab onto me. I rolled away from it, I let it explode on the ground, and nothing came of it. Let one latch onto me and stay until it stopped latches, I guess. Right, yep, it's latched. Still on 2 kills. Alright, it's popped. I'm also kind of dying. At least not in the simulacrum. Seeker and 1 Latcher, because I didn't blow up that one. That one is just blown up on me now. And yep, still doesn't count either as a kill or in the list, because I didn't blow it up. How have we got 3 different counts for kills in missions? Cheers, bye. 3 different counts for kills in missions. So this is what is causing the difficulty for me in terms of measuring how good things are. Is not only are the missions randomly tiled, and the missions have varying objectives. We've seen as low as 190 kills, as high as 208. I've actually seen one with 240. But also, the game doesn't seem to agree on what I've actually done. And it's making this really difficult to give you a good, reliable, testable answer. Yeah. I'm saying 4301 total kills, and enemies add together only 4112. Yeah. So there is something weird going on with the enemy list they give us as well. I'm going to run this through again for you. Let's see, now, with melee setups, if I wasn't using Toxin or Influence, it was usually taking me around 270 to 300 seconds. With Influence and Toxin, 240 down to 220. I wasted a couple seconds there, but let's not worry about it. And this is an explosive bursting, so when I shoot an enemy to death, it will cause other nearby enemies to get injured by it, maybe to death. I'm not using raw to buff it, so it's missing out on the improved status damage, but it's still doing plenty of work. At the very least, it reduces the amount of work to kill individual enemies when there's a group of them. Right, we're at 56, 53 kills. Go figure. Once again, I've got 3 more kills on the tracker than I've earned. Go figure. Oh, that spawned right under my feet.
Know this. Open that thing and the tech rot will get riled up crazy.
Pop these both in. 63, 60, we're still at -3. Yep.
Tech rot's well, man. Situation's about to be.
I don't think we've even had any miasmites yet, so how am I -3? The game thinks I've killed 3 more than the game thinks I've killed. Dare I even look at the list of names at this point? You know what? Let's just go through the mission. I want to get also the timing on it. I could record 3 exterminates, identify each kill and go from there. Oh boy. You have a very high amount of faith in the visual readability of this game. unless you take an excruciating amount of time to change your play style to make it more viewable, in which case you could also be changing the results. Which is its own problem. Also, knowing my luck, I'd go through, count every single enemy, list them all up. I'd get a different list of what the game is telling me in the UI, but also yet another different count. So I'd end up with 4 counts of how many. So yeah. Suffice to say, where the game is wrong or confused in 3 different ways, therefore at least 2 of them wrong, it's not really worth melting my brain trying to find another way it could be wrong. It just ain't worth it. What is more important is trying to find out what can we use out of the existing information, if anything. Okay, we got a bunch of static things that don't want to move from where they are. I don't usually get a Babao. Hello? It didn't exterminate? Well, that's unusual. I've done this mission like 100 times in the last 2 days. That's the first time I've had a Babao. Oh, sorry, did I forget to scan it? Oops. It's integrated now. That was weird. This is getting weirder. Kaya, can we fix the timeline now, please? The game's just straight up bugging on me. And I don't like it. I'd be like, what the fuck, my life's a game to you? Yes. Yeah, I'm fairly certain Babaos are not supposed to spawn here, but who knows, maybe it's just a rare spawn. Alright, there we go, 208, 251.
Come on home, fam.
Let's get out of here before Mania teleports me. Oh, they teleported to me. That's actually perfectly fine, because I could just move too quickly for them to do anything. Alright, so that was just shy of 5 minutes. That's not a very quick run. It's 296 seconds for how many supposed kills? 251. That was only a 51 kpm, which is pretty damn low. In the test missions I did with Burst and Blast earlier, and granted we just had the Babao, which probably screwed it up a bit there. In the test missions I was doing, I got an average of 67 with Burst and Blast, so 51 is really low. Cytosonic saying they've run a bunch of missions without a companion, which decreased variance. My companion isn't shooting. It's specifically set to the do not shoot mode. Captain Sweatpants, thank you very much for the resub there. Up onto 19 months. Much appreciated. Much appreciated indeed. Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, this is just increasing levels of what the actual F. And again, if I add these all up, we've got 31 Scuzzies, 27 volatile Galliflex, 90 not so volatile Galliflex, 25 Matmus, 20 Obsolites, 40 Miasmites, and 1 Babao for 234. Which is missing 17 of the 251 kills I supposedly did, and is still over the total that I was supposed to have got in the mission, which I think was like 208. So yeah. Let's see, if I quickly go through this, if I just check, how many recorded non-scuffed missions do I have? Scuffed ones I just aborted out and didn't record the details of. Says these, those, these, and then the what? Like, have I done 4 on stream now? Yeah, we're at 50 missions just today. Okay. Now, why am I complaining or just making noise about all of this? What I was attempting to do is to measure the effectiveness of various setups to try and get an idea as to just how impactful melee influence actually is. I can tell you right now that melee influence is impactful, but how impactful is still very much up in the air. So, using my viral setup in a dem, the viral setup was the worst setup I had out of all of them when fighting against a tech rot. It was just diabolically bad. I say diabolically, it's not like 10 kills per minute, but still, it's at the bottom of the chart. 52.5 kpm on average. Burst and Heat came in at 53.5, except Burst and Heat was completing the missions far quicker than that kill rate was suggesting, which is where I went, wait, where are my kills going, and found all of this. An electric setup in a dem was then the next lowest at 58, a toxin at 60, 60.6, a vortex magnetic toxin was 62.6, but a magnetic toxin without vortex was faster at 65 kpm. Burst and Blast on my test was 67 kpm, although I'm fairly certain this was not at 67 kpm. Melee Influence with a full electric setup was 72.7, and the Melee Influence with a magnetic electric setup was 73.8 kpm. And again, I'm running into all kinds of issues with randomization of tiles, randomization of objectives, randomization of where the cache spawns and how easy it is to find the pickups for it. A few seconds here or there multiplied by, say, 10 variables can completely change the mission. Completely. So this is not what I wanted to add on to that in terms of variables, is that the game doesn't even tell me the truth. It doesn't even tell me the truth. In 3 different ways, we've got a count of kills, and it's, that's a fun one. I'm reminded as to a long time ago, I forget exactly how long ago now, but a long time ago, it used to be that if you killed enemies using Revenant's Reeve, they didn't count as kills from Exterminate. But also the mission wouldn't continuously spawn new enemies to ensure you had enough to complete the objective. So if you enthralled the entire mission and continuously reeved your way through them, you could get to extraction with no more enemies left on the entire map and have only killed 8. That was a fun one. That did get changed, and now they do count as kills, but yeah, I wonder how many other things are out there. Regular saying, you'd think a mission as simple as go through the map and kill everything would have fewer bugs. It's, yeah. I know it must be difficult, because otherwise it wouldn't exist. Warframe wasn't released yesterday. They've been working on it for a very long time, and they have dealt with these kinds of issues before and mitigated or solved them. It is, however, still bloody impressive that it recurs nonetheless. That there are different counts of kills. You kind of wish we get more spy vaults? Yeah, it would be nice. New navigational challenges that weren't, haha, can you find your way through this infested grid? Yeah. As I say, I do think it's in part you won't notice unless you're doing this type of KPM testing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. For the average play, if you just go through a mission and you end up killing 250 enemies to kill 210 enemies, you're looking and go, oh, that's weird. That's broken. and then you just move on with your life. But if you're like me who wants an answer to be able to inform something else, I'm just grabbing onto the bars outside of the information, screaming, "Let me in! Tell me the truth!" And then the truth is missing. It is certainly something. Friendly, this does make me wonder where the issue actually is. Like, exterminators have been tracking and correcting for potential years. Oh yeah, they have. Or just a kill count tracker on the animation screen that's blocked. No, it's definitely been wrong for years. It's not been wrong in the same way for years, because D have continuously patched it, but exterminate counters not being correct isn't itself new. What's new to me is that I can have multiple different sets of modding on the same weapons and get different amounts of wrong, with some amount of consistency in how wrong. It's like, what? Yeah. Good evening, Calamity. Good evening to you. Yeah, someone said it might be due to the radial damage outer burster not counting as a exterminate kill, but is counting as a kill. But then I've got no explanation as to what's happening to the missing entry on the kills as to which units I killed. All I can say with certainty is that the numbers are an approximation to reality, and the actual reality is unhelpful to even try to consider at this point. So how do I measure if something is better? Let's not click onto Naramon. My bad. Fuck off, you weird little void child. Right. Let's consider taking this very basic Shocking Touch Inodem with influence. Let's take this into a survival. Now, I've already done some bits and pieces like this on general testing, but I haven't done it with magnetic mod in there. So I'm just going to take this into a survival. And after 10 minutes, how many kills does the game claim I have? And what does it say in the list? Will there be wrong matches here as well? Yoink. Power affinity, you'll pick up some crates and such segregated among equipment. Oh, right, in terms of where does the affinity go, it's treated like universal affinity. So, the same as affinity you get from an objective, the same as affinity from a teammate getting a kill, the same as affinity from casting an ability. All of that is considered universal affinity and it is split in that manner. Stabbing! Wow, okay, I hit the crate there. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit the crate, but... Oh! Okay! Well, I think we might have just found one of the causes. Ooh, okay. Someone call him Folly, because that's her domain. Is environmental damage the problem? It is a problem. You'll notice I did still get some kills there with my very first swing, but I'm fairly certain they all died to that explosion. So it might have only counted the ones I personally damaged. But then credited me with all of the kills that I must have caused. Oh hey! It's been a while. Alright. Let's deal with this broski as well whilst we're at it. So yeah, if I hit one of those enemies, maybe it went, oh yeah, you definitely killed one of those. Whereas if I hit the thing that hit those enemies, I never hit those enemies, so I didn't kill them, but I did kill them. And the game knows I killed them because it credited me with killing them, but I didn't kill them. No. DE, please. Either credit me or don't, but how has this happened? How have they got three different ways of counting kills? Like, choose. Just use one. It's got to be easier to choose one. Yeah. It's got to be easier to just have one. This is like line of sight all over again, isn't it? Where we discover that DE have just been adding in yet more ways to do the same thing, rather than calling an existing functional method or whatever you have. Until next thing you know, there's 4 different ways of calling a spade a spade. And they disagree. Uh-oh. Man, I do not envy the programmers who have to deal with that kind of thing. You're holding your breath for a 4th inconsistent kill count? Well, it's like I said earlier. Someone's suggestion of, why don't you just record every kill you get and then count on the recording? I'm just going to end up with yet another different result there. Can I just say separately though, when I get a Tennokai kill on a group of enemies with the Inodem, the crunchy sound is so satisfying. The absolute crunchiness as it tears through a bunch. And I know y'all know what I mean. Also, you'll notice how I'm just kind of pointing my character in the general direction of these enemies and pressing melee. Not exactly top tier aiming or anything. I'm on 41 headshots. 41 headshot kills. You guess kill total? I'm going to stop you right there. Well, let's see. What is this guess? You guess kill total is based on amount of enemies dying in a mission, but the enemy type is based on hit detection, so influence kills are not counted enemy type. You think that influence kills aren't counted in, what, this list? Maybe? Prove it. That's my honest demand at this point. Prove it. And then prove it again on every type of enemy in every circumstance, such that we don't have another miasmite case. If you have an ally and kill the enemy, you hit once, does it count? We didn't even know the barrel was going to do what the barrel did, my guy. What makes you think I have the answer to that? Too much work? Fair enough. Let's take 2 guesses then. Okay, in just over 5 minutes, 582 kills. Pretty good rate. Pretty good. 582 KPM is... Sorry. That'll be, what, 119 KPM? Yeah, I think it's 119 KPM. That's pretty good. Especially to say I'm not using a single ability. Not one. But, I do usually like to stick these to 10 minutes because it gives time for spawns to start to get a little bit imperfect if you're chasing kills around, which melee very often will. You have to physically go to them. I like to give it long enough so that you're not just blessed by the early spawns, because at start of a survival, the enemies spawn right on you, you're on one very dead-end tile, and so it makes for a very easy start. It's around the 10 to 15 minute mark that most struggling builds in survival really demonstrate how much they're struggling. If it's a bad build, you'll find out before 5 minutes, yeah. But a struggling build, this is where you'll start to feel it. I'm trying to get to that 10 and 15 minute mark. You'll notice my life support is actually going down a bit here. that is your early indication that kill rate might not actually be what you need it to be. We're at 580 at just gone 5 minutes. At 7:08, let's see where we're at. Didn't mean to overshoot all of them. 7:08, we're at 8:12. Okay, so that's gone up by 230. So yeah, that's about 115 kpm still. That's good. That should be enough to maintain life support. Should. The game is not so fair. 100 is the spicy edge of it. 100 is you're going to start struggling a lot. Little ebbs and flows in life support randomness will fuck you over at that point. With 15 over that, so we should be able to maintain, but as you can see, it is still going down a little bit. Now there's always the risk that there is some life support hiding somewhere and is impacting the drops of more life support. This is, as far as I've observed, a thing. Also, no, I'm not picking up those survival speed up pickups. I'm not here for how quickly I can complete the time. I'm here for the kills. Life support has gone back up to 80%, so yeah, we are maintaining an acceptable kill rate here. But that is good. Okay, it's now to 70%. Here's a nice cluster. We should hopefully get a little bit of breathing from something here. Not much. Okay. There we go. There we are. Finally, the RNG trickled through. It finally gave us a few drops in a row there. Bye, Torment. Bye, Torment. Hello, Gaz. Hey, Gaz. What's been tested is apparently everyone's patience when it comes to how this game counts kills. Let me get to 10 minutes and I'll explain very briefly for you, because you might have some insight on this. You do indulge in some very... don't waste my combo. You do indulge in some very mechanics-heavy aspects of the game. But suffice to say, we found 3 different ways this game counts kills at the same time. None of them agree. We can't even agree as to how they're disagreeing. They wrong. Alright, 10 minutes, 1161. So yeah, 116 kpm maintained there. That's pretty nice. No ability in it, so that's a nice baseline on that. Let me just get us out of here. Make a note of one. Oh, bollocks. Slightly mistimed that. Ah, whatever. Right, taking note.
So we learn the importance of clarity.
Stream tests. Mission. Survival. Sedna. Time. 600. Kills was 1161. Boom. Alright. So yeah. This should be a nice, obvious starting point. I say nice and obvious. That's a lot of numbers to add up, but let's just add them up real quickly. 202 Butchers, 534 Elite Lancers, 2 Shocks. I think it means Shock Xmas. Because 4 Arctic Xmas and 6 Blitz Xmas and 65 Troopers and 4 Arson Xmas and 3 Jade Light Xmas, 41 Shield Lancers, 17 Drakes, 1 Leech, 23 Ballistas, 11 Drak Masters, 1 Violence. Oh, it was a Violence, okay. 18 Seekers, 2 Energy Leech, 10 Latchers, 4 Bailiffs, 10 Heavy Gunners, 6 Napalms, and a Torment in a Pear Tree. 965. So apparently I killed 198 no-name enemies. $198 no-name enemies. They don't exist. They're not part of the list. They account for 20% of the kills I got in that mission. Near enough. Actually, no, more than, is it? No. Less than, but still. Companion and status kills don't list. So, status kills should count, but that's something we can explore. Companion kills, 0 happened. My companion didn't kill anything. Also, 141 melee kills means that there is 22 not melee kills. We think... Well, we know that a bunch of that came from the barrel, but the majority of these kills were all just melee. Straight up. So, yeah. But in an exterminate where it keeps track of your kills, it also gets it confused there as well. So let's go back to the tech rot. Cyosonic saying, one thing I can confirm is that the Techrot volatile that explode without you hitting them count for exterminate but aren't credited as kills. Well, that's fun. Let's just tear through these as fast as we can. Incarnate is activated for the extra attack speed and range, always nice to have. It's actually impressive just how much the attack speed, even on the magnetic one, really matters for KPM.
Got a solid move. Abandoned supply cache. Now listen up.
I have to kill with powers counter to it, also works in its own way. We're not even worrying about that right now, that's its own thing entirely. We're looking on a per mission basis, that thing can just exist there. Also, the 2 kills I've got this week from abilities happened when I didn't cast abilities, so just don't. Just don't. Okay, let's take a moment to breathe right here. We just hit 55 kills. Ooh, I want to breathe. That means not be on top of enemies. 53 kills, 55 kills, 56 kills, 53 kills. Is it possible that it's counting attacks on corpses as kills? Well, attacks aren't kills, so I fucking hope not. If a corpse is a corpse, it shouldn't be something we can kill. You know, like, how the hell do you see that one happening? Which element am I modded for? I'm currently modded for magnetic, electric, plus just the base of whatever you have on the Inodem. Because that's enabling melee influence, which has proved to be the highest KPM the Inodem without ability boosting is capable of in this mission. Yeah, no gas here. No gas. And I'm not using Venom's Formation. I'm not even using Lavos' abilities. Lavos is straight up just health tanking right now. Yeah, Lemon Thunder, if you're making a guess as to the code of a game, I strongly recommend that you just don't. This is a general suggestion to everyone because games at the scale of like Warframe are beyond disgustingly complicated. Beyond complicated. And everyone's best guess as to what is happening is still layman's guess at best. Only the devs actually involved with coding Warframe have an inkling as to what could be causing these kinds of issues. And if they knew, they'd probably have fixed it. Oh shit, I forgot there was the supply cache. Oops. I completely forgot to pay attention to that. I was too busy killing and answering questions. Lemon Thunder, you and everyone else who has an idea with absolutely zero basis behind it. I don't want to shit on the idea too much, but I also don't want to spend the next 3 hours telling people, look, you're guessing again. Plus. Alright. Well, that's our kills. 205 done. Let's get out of here. Oh, interesting. So, I didn't pop the save, and now this time, I'm missing 6 kills. Let me just get rid of my last game real quick. There we are. That's probably put me back up and yeah. It said I had 199 kills, but I've completed a bounty of 205. That, if nothing else, it narrows it down. Because now we know that, or we can at least observe, there is a functional difference between the spawns that come as a result of opening up the supply cache and just normal mission spawns. There appears to be something in that. Here's bye. That's not conjecture as to the nature of the code, that is a direct observation. Question still remains, what is the total we got here? Out of that 207, we got 42, 95, 18, 23, 13, 4, 1, 2. 198. Yeah. Gaz saying you might want to try Kuva Flood 2, the Cypher spawns extra enemies and messes with the exterminate count. I'm gonna honestly just take your word on that, because I don't think that I'm gonna learn anything useful from that other than, wow, you're right, this is also fucked. It's just... oh god, it's a pain in the ass. Now that was a 5-minute mission for 207 kills. That's honestly not great at all. How has this gotten slower since I started streaming? Every run I've done so far has been slower than the runs I've done off-stream. Excuse me, kindly. Locking the fuck in, bear with. See y'all in 4 minutes. Okay. 198 enemies is the goal. That's a pretty low one, actually. They're usually over 200. Meccana's activated. It's more speed, more range. Good. The aim that I take with every single mission test that I do to try and ascertain the effectiveness of X versus Y is every single time I just go in trying to prove that the one I'm actively playing right at that moment is the correct one. Whatever rules, whatever stipulations I give myself, the build I'm using at any one given moment is the one that I am personally trying to prove is the one. And so with that in mind, I play as thoroughly as possible to try and maximize the results. You do that across all the missions, all the tests. It's about as best as an output as I can give it. I'm not wed to any particular answer or proof. I just give it my all every single time that I can. And if I feel like I didn't give it my all, if something went wrong, do it again. The mission is scuffed, do it again. Punch over here. I need to be getting to that cache. Let's not forget that one this time. Here we go. Things like that. The land roll, slam, pickup, item all in one.
Proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook. I say, let it come.
Are you dead or not? You're dead. You're just still glowing. Fuck you. I hate it when that happens. I'm like, am I supposed to still be hitting this thing, or has it actually perished already and the game hasn't realized it? Warframe identifies a corpse as a threat because the corpse hasn't finished falling over. Big explosions. Oh, there we go. Get more stuff this way. Come on, attack me. Perpetually fish. Oh god. It said 400 meters to the next one. I thought there was one all the way back at spawn for a moment there. Oh. The visceral concern and dread that fills me with. What's this 400 meters to next enemy? Nope, they're all dead. Nearly there. Nearly there. There we go.
Nobody gonna mess with the Hex now. Not Scaldra, not Tech Rock. You feel me? Now extract yourself.
Why does that always sound like he's just telling me to kill myself? Something about the way Quincy says, extract yourself.
So you conquer yourself.
It just seems like he's telling me to find a noose. What did I say though? 4 minutes. 3 seconds over. For 265 kills. I'll just put that into the comparison here. Yeah, 65.4 kpm. Still a little bit on the slower side than what I had before, but yeah, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Ellie saying you should exk, and Zom saying cue the lightning. I mean, what's it waiting behind, Zom? What queue? Does it have to wait for the clouds? It's fine, chat. We have moderators that represent this community well. Only half of them know how to communicate in English. The other half are just giving you the impression of English. It's fine. Right. So given that everything do be absolutely balked, because 265 kills is a hell of a lot more than 190. Only half the mods know how to read? Oh, first of all, Byte, you didn't type that correctly, so well done. Just... like mods, like community. You're all just one big happy family, and then there's also me who puts Hildren instead of Hildren in a video, so... We are all birds of a feather here. Those feathers are tarred by layers upon layers of muck and oil. But yes. And I'm not even going to add up those numbers in the text box there. You can't see the volatile Galaflex, but it's 23. Suffice to say, they do not add up. They do not add up. So, yeah. This is all more than a little bit of a funky issue. So how do you tell if something is better? How do you tell if something is better? Apparently, every single letter S has been occupied by Old Man. Is that Old Mantroga? Something like that. All the same, put some S's back into the bag of Scrabble. Let everyone else have a turn with them. But aside from that, we can, over many tests of the same mission, eventually flatten out all of the variances to roughly kind of get an idea as to effectiveness. Most notable of all of the results I've had is that I think it was Magnetic Toxin actually had a comparable rate to just Influence. Wasn't quite as strong, but yeah, let's just do that again. We go, there you are. Because yeah, we got, what was it? 265 supposed kills in about 4 minutes. Took it a while. Assist. Okay. Well, we've got your word now. What's the rest of the question there, old man? What is the rest of the question? Because assist doesn't tell me what you're actually trying to ask. I pressed melee there and just slowly got off the bike. That was actually really sad to watch. Anyway. If you're wondering, am I getting a kill assist with someone else in the squad? There is no one else in the squad. Am I getting it with my companion? My companion isn't attacking. So beyond that, I literally don't know what the question is. And yeah, I have a build set up for Worm. I have 2 builds set up for Worm to not attack. One of them is don't attack, but still buff me. And the other one is don't attack, don't help, just sit there and look pretty.
Got a solid move. Abandoned supply cache. Now listen up. If you get close, it'll clock you and start a countdown.
I didn't mean to do that jump.
Before it's smoked.
Come on.
See?
Oop, don't waste the combo. Got slightly out of tempo with my my Tenokai there. Did bike kills count for you? The bike did not kill anything while those times I threw it. It just wasn't dealing enough damage for it, and that was honestly a good thing because we didn't want that to count. Not what I was trying to test. Long turn. Why is this thing like 300 meters away? The mission is right here. Let's go for a walk. By walk, I mean absolute manic bullet jump roll process. Oh, at least this one's a quick one to do. Always like getting this one, because there's one right here. You plug it in, and the other one's right there. Done. Yeah.
Well, man. Situation's about to get proper mental.
That one's always a nice cache. Okay, let's get back to murdering. Remove the long arm of the... I wouldn't call it the law. Come here, you're protecting everything else. Die. There we go. This is a particularly hostile tile to melee, not gonna lie. Can the enemy start spawning a little bit further away from the giant hole in the floor, please? Massive more things. Now this has got more kills required than the previous missions. 217 to the 190 of the prior one. So I'm expecting the timer to be a little bit longer at the very least there. But usually that also means there's just 1 or 2 extra tiles to navigate on top of getting the extra kills. But the KPM tends to come down when there's more kills required in the mission. Not entirely sure exactly how that works out, but it mostly seems to come down to just the nature of the tiles spawned. So we'll get through this mission, see what the resulting kills and time come to. Can we stop sitting in very hostile to melee places, please? I'm trying to do this melee only. That is a very hostile location to sit. There we go, let's get out of the mission.
Hex now, not Scaldra, not Tech Rock. You feel me? Now
Yeah, I think I wasted a few seconds there. Not gonna kill Torment. Not worth it. Get me out of here. Yeah, wasted a few seconds on that little ramp there, but it should be fine. Imagine if they made a game mode where KPM mattered. Survival. So yeah, that added on a whole 52 seconds to the run there, but the total kill count, previously 265. This time... Huh. Exactly the same. Wow. That's unusual. So yeah, 52 seconds longer. For switching from magnetic electric influence to magnetic toxin. I don't think I took off the influence, that was just inactive. Yeah, that was just inactive, that's fine. From Cheswell, I see there's roughly 30% of enemies spawn from the egg pod. Does that count towards the kill tracker? That would also explain why it's not on the enemy spread. Hard to say, honestly. Hard to say. I mean, you say roughly 30% of the enemies spawned are from the egg pods. I don't even know if that's true, or if that's vibes-based. That is the point I am running up against here, is that I can only trust so much as to what the game is showing me because the game is just lying to me. And the game might even be lying to itself. You counted each encounter is 5 to 7 pods. Okay. Fair enough. And that mission I encountered it 4 times. Okay. Alright, is anything on here? Blast electric. Nope. 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 Roll low, try again. You need to finish your question to ask it. Okay, so, separately from the game straight up lying to me, which continues to be a struggle to deal with, I have been doing some extensive testing so far just with Inadem, between different builds, with and without influence. A very curious thing I noted is that using a viral to electric build, so switching from viral to mod to electric to mod, and then adding on influence in the process, against the Grenier, this saw a 26 KPM increase in both Exterminate and in Survival. Against the Corpus, it was about a 65% increase. And there are a few things that make sense there. For starters, Viral is not effective against shields. Secondly, Viral is effective against the entirety of Grenier health. Thirdly, Electric is more effective against shields, despite the fact that it's not effective, it's not a guard damage bonus. It's because if you hit the shield gate, You might not kill them from that, but then the electric can immediately double tap. So it leads to a greater potential for lethality there. So that does explain why I'm getting those higher rates. Against the Tekrot and the Skuldra, I have had some more mixed results, but it seemed to be in the ballpark of about 34% increase. But then that's when I switched into doing more build and type testing against the Tekrot to see to what extent it really matters. All of this is trying to come back to that same original point from last stream, 3 days ago, which is melee influence doesn't need to be nerfed. It's just that the other options suck. And really should be given more room to breathe. So, on that note, the next test that I've not had the time to do so far, because of finding so many other stupid things in the process, is melee exposure. To take melee exposure on the Inodem, and I'm going to stick with a magnetic toxin approach. In order to use this without changing the parameters of the mission too much, I'm going to attempt to only use Lavos' 1 and try to hit as few enemies as possible with it. I won't use Valence Formation, so I'm just then triggering exposure with minimal input, without changing the rest of my setup, without subsuming any of that stuff. As close as I can get without being stupid in the effort for the sanctity of it, because the mission itself has no sanctity. So if I switch to exposure like that, an exposure magnetic toxin approach, where exposure is mostly there for just more damage than anything useful, does that improve kill rate? Does just straight up more damage of a awkward type actually do something here? Now, I'm not going to have the full amount ready to go straight away. That's 2 uses. I can send that off that way safely, it won't hit anything. That's 3 uses. 4. Alright, now we're at full scale on it. All I need to do now is just make sure that I keep the timer running. Granted, in a more normal mission, you would be just casting whatever buff you intended to cast, and that would keep the timer running. Trying to control for external variables.
Got a solid move. Abandon supply cache.
Even when they
Listen up.
would be used in a
Get
normal
closer,
setup.
clock you and start a countdown. Bust into the cache before it's smoked. See? Yo! Supply
Hey,
cache
that's
clock.
right on top of me.
A
See,
photo
that
charger to
affects the
melt
time
that
of these kinds of missions. It's just, how lucky do I get with the cache? This cache has spawned right on top of me. And so this should, by all theory, be a much faster mission. By all theory. I do, however, still need 216 total kills, which means I need a lot more than 216 total kills, because
Proper pissed off.
D math.
Hitters coming out of every nook and crook. I say,
Do people actually talk like Quincy IRL? I've spent a fair amount of time with a few people who sound similar. Not quite as dramatic as Quincy, but then there are people who do try to sound like that, yes. So he is a dramatized version, but yes. He does, however, use some language that did not exist in the 90s. So he's a little bit anachronistic, but that's fine because it's also not our 90s, it's a different 90s. I have accidentally let the corrosive bonus run out. I need to fix that. If I just do this over here, I'll get most of it back with minimal impact on the mission. Why did the Incarnate Parados and Indom not show different mode? Honestly, no idea. Maybe it's a bug, maybe it's a design choice, maybe D have yet to decide which they want to believe it is. It's just one of those. How do you know when you're in Incarnate mode? If you've got enough combo to activate Incarnate mode, it shows on the right hand side, you know, on the combo meter, that you could activate it, unless you're in Incarnate mode. So I can feel it in the attack speed, I can see it on the UI, it alerts me if I could activate it. So by extension, if I can't see I can activate it, it must be active. In downtime between attacks, you can also have a look at the weapon, but whilst you're a living Beyblade, kind of hard to look at it. Oops, I let this run out again. Yeah, that's affecting the results, but we'll roll with it. You never made base Wukongs on? Yeah, well, fair enough, it happens. There we go, 216, which was actually 267 kills. Let's get out the mission. Got that nice, lovely parkour bonus. We love the speed on that. Slightly messed up that one, so let's just dash forwards. Oh, and that is a fast extraction. 449. So how many kills? We'll see in a sec. That's 289 seconds for 267 kills. And so that was a KPM of 55.4. I might as well have just not had melee exposure on there at that rate. And that was with a very fast crate. Yikes. Yeah, exposure just did not help the KPM at all there. Didn't move the needle. Which, yeah, it's exactly what I expected there. So here's the thing with the Unidam, and why this might not even be the best weapon to do this set of testing with. Its individual attacks aren't actually that strong. We have a look at the combos. I'm usually using this. So it's got a combo of 100%, 300%, 200%, 100%. Cool. So we basically get this damage hit here, up to 3 times that, and then whatever crits happen. In terms of crits, yeah, we've got the 1.2 coming from Companion. So this is normally, what, a 2 times base? This adds on 1.2, yes it does. And this will add on another 120% at 2.4. So we've got a 6.8 times critical multiplier. For critical chance, it's a base 22%. So on normal attacks, we've got 660% of that 22. So yeah, 660% bonus to that, 167.2% critical chance, which is then 1 plus 1.672 multiplied by typically 5.8, going to ignore headshots for a moment. An average critical multiplier of 10.7, which multiplied by that there, 3100, times that crit, times by the at most 3. At most, we're looking at a... but yeah, on the high part of this combo, we're looking at a 100k swing. On average, so 33k, 100k, 66k, 33k. Which is a chunk of damage, but it's not like crazy bonkers high amounts, is it? But then the heavy attack happens. Oh, sorry, did I take into account the correct Incarnate stats? Oh, they match, it's fine. But yeah, then we take into account the heavy attack. The heavy attack already has a higher base value. It does a double attack. So just a lot of damage. The critical chance on this increases on heavy attack. And then because those heavy attacks are coming from Tennokai, it's always going to be a 12 times combo, which means we get 12 times damage on top of it again. So increasing all of that together, it's going to be like... I want to say in the ballpark of like 15 to 20 times the damage. Something like that. So I will do 4 hits of okay damage. And then I'll just absolutely carve into something. And it's that heavy attack that I'm frequently doing, which is killing stuff. Most of the attacks along the way there are just kind of almost decorative. Not entirely. They do get some work done, but they are mostly decorative, and it's the heavy attack that actually kills. And I find it a little bit hard as to where to compare from there. Yes, unfortunately, Miralabe, your stream streaks may not have been maintained. Tisk tisk. Hello, Overwaterfish. Say, man, grinding in Warframe is tiring. Time to take a break and watch some Warframe. Yup. All good, all good. Right, so, what I haven't done yet so far as well is Zoris. I've been kind of leaving this one off because I don't want it to cloud my judgment as to the rest of everything's capabilities, but let's see what happens here, shall we? Chat. Given that off-stream I was getting, on average, about a 73 kills per minute result with influence on the Inodem, about 73, what do you think I'll get with the Zoris? Am I making a melee tier list? No. I don't really do tier lists. Tier lists kind of annoy me, to be quite honest, because it's kind of like a 5-star rating for how good something is. There's only a single dimension to work with, and that deletes all considerations, all nuance, every bit of value to what things can bring to more niche circumstances. When you add on just how many melees there are, fuck that. Zoris with or without influence? With influence. This is my standard Zoris go-to build. I've made no changes to it just now, so it is just Zoris go burr. The Zoris I would bring to a typical everyday mission. Without the Lavos bonuses, though. I'm not casting Raw, no casting Venom's Formation. Not priming anything special. I'm just blowing things up the good old Zoris way. With influence. Oh my god, the impact on the minimap is always fun. Where you just watch an entire sea of red triangles turn into nothing but terrain. Stream crash for you? Refresh it then. I know you didn't hear me say that, but, well, whatever. Alright, supply cache is 270 meters away. Not a nearby one. I'm going to try killing stuff on the way over to it. Because again, always maximize the results, whatever the test is. It's telling me to go this way? Okay. The enemies are back there. Here we go. Oh, I missed it. There we go. Got it.
Tekron's proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook. I say,
None of the stuff I said answered the tier list question. Well, that's unfortunate. Let me summarize that very quickly for you to save you going through the VOD. But if you wanted the full answer, you're going to have to go to the VOD here on Twitch now. But to put it very simply, I'm not making a melee tier list. There's too many melees in the game and I don't like tier lists. Tier lists are one-dimensional, they ignore all nuance, and they overall just kind of suck. They have at best entertainment value, and that really is at best. It's a 6-second video with just melee influence. Well, if we're tier listing melee arcanes, then pretty much yes. But that's because the rest of them are badly designed. I still maintain melee influence doesn't need a nerf. Although the Zorus is quite strong. Well, we'll see in a moment just how strong it is, won't we? Like, it feels strong, but is it? Is it so blindingly strong? Like, these things are now holding on a little bit more. I don't have the same number of things to obliterate. Do I also have gas on the Zorus? No! If I want to gas on it, I would usually use Valence Formation.
over and out, fam.
Alright, let's get out of here. 243. That's a lot of kills needed for the mission, actually. 243. We actually got 326. 326. I just... Yeah, that's Okay. And that took 3 minutes 47. Good God. Alright, so 3 minutes 47 is 227 seconds for 326 kills. Whether they're real or not, we will never know. But it happened 86.2 kills per minute there. 86.2. Ooh. That is a few. And the cache was far from the enemies? Honestly, the cache was about mid-range. I've had some worse ones. That was about a mid-range. Alright. Just out of curiosity, weapon max it. Now, if I wanted to be fair and scientific about this, I would be redoing that test a few times over, and indeed I am going to at some point. But first, weapon max. Let's just make sure that's set to pistol. Let's take this further. Melee damage or melee attack speed? Let's go the damage. There are a couple Xmas units that were a little more resistant than I would like. Let's delete those. Hello, Logan. Welcome on in. Alright, let's do this. We're going to add on that, and then we're going to add on that, and now let's go. I'm just going to let the enemies that fall behind catch up or die.
Got a solid move. Abandoned supply cache. Now listen up. If you get close, it'll clock you and start a countdown. Bust into the cache before it's smoked. See?
Keep the roar going. that mini-map clearance. Okay, well this one spawned right on top of me, so one of them is right there. Didn't pick it up during the roll, but it made the sound of it. And then the other one is right there. Let me have it. Thank you. There we go. Oh, that is a whole essay starting with "I've hated Glaze my whole life." You're gonna have to bear with me, my guy. That is gonna be something I'll address when I am not speeding through this mission. Ah, damn it, Xmas. There we go. Yeah, all the stuff behind me blown up, and then blow it up again, and then blow it up again. Because that's how it works. Those spawn pods have plot armor. No, but really, they do. Get inside the bubble. Nope, the bubble jumped over me. Get inside the bubble is gone, whatever. Let's just blow up everything. That's dead. Re-up all buffs. Everything dies in one blast. Love it. Another group of them. They're still spawning. Blow up these ones instead. Then we blow up those ones. And that's done. 230 was our target. 309 is our actual. Once again, around 70-ish kills just kind of vanished into the ether. Zom, you must have 4K plastids. What? You're MR29. You have the plastids. 3 minutes 17 seconds with the extra buffs there. Oh boy. That is 227 seconds? No, it's not. It's 197 seconds. Oh, that one rather wrong. 309 kills. That was 94.1 kills per minute. Pretty good. Okay. So, what was that essay? From Litoro. I've hated Glaze my whole life. They're extremely difficult to use and just feel weird. I don't know about the extremely difficult to use. You hold E, it throws out, you press heavy attack, boom. They're not quick melee, yep. Based on a spam to win system, yep. Nor are they hold to win. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you have to do a little bit more than just hold down a button. They are hold, spam, hold, spam? No. Hold, click. Hold, click. Extra buttons. Sure. They lack logic and smooth, intuitive gameplay. No. Not any worse than other melees, but okay. In Litoro's opinion, the entire Glaze category is the worst melee in the entire game, a system even worse than Cold Sores. Damn, that is a take. Whew, boy, yeah, that is a take right there. I can tell you now, if they were the most complicated weapon in the game, I wouldn't be using them. I'm bad at this game. I'm bad at every game. People get the idea that because I can run a few numbers and keep a coherent script together in a video, that I must be amazingly good at video games. And then they come to the streams and rapidly learn, I'm not, I'm just some guy on the internet. I am just some guy on the internet. The Zorus is not that complicated a weapon. It's just not. The main difficulty with it isn't the attack, it's making sure that you don't throw it in a way that it's going to hit something too early. And that's it. Simran saying it messes with the brain, hand, impact expectations, the delays, the travel time, etc., etc. It's a time expectation thing. That's not a sentence. You've just kind of vomited complaints there, I'll be quite honest with you. Because either you're listing things it messes with, in which case it messes with the delays, doesn't make sense, or you're not listing things, in which case you've just used hand as an entire clause. But yeah, you can't just hold a button for the entire mission. Correct. It does take a little bit more. Sure.
You are a true hunter.
You don't just take whatever shape of stick you've equipped in the mission, be it small stick, medium stick, long stick, extra long stick, stick with blade on the end, stick with block on the end, 2 sticks, stick and a rock. Whatever variant of stick you usually take to stick into enemies. Instead, you have disc. And so you go wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Cool. Yep, that was complicated. Wham. And if anyone wants to say, oh, but Ken, how do you time it correctly? Watch this. Watch it very, very carefully. When I throw it, it hits them. And that is my trigger. I look for it hitting them, and that is when I press heavy attack. And they die. That's it. That's all you do with it. You throw it, you wait for it to hit them, you blow it up. Works a treat. That's all there is to a glaive. You throw it, hits them, bang. He's dead. If they don't die, you fucking do it again. If you want to time things, like, oh, send it there, bam! Yeah, you can do that. Try and hit things around corners and whatnot, but I just throw it at them, hit them, bang, dead. That is the entirety of the thought for 95% of the usage of disc. It's honestly not a complicated weapon. What's my take on Glaive Prime versus Zorus? Zorus wins these days because melee influence go burr. Zorus is guaranteed electric procs and innate electric damage and damn good status to make it work. Glaive Prime, on the other hand, was of an older meta. The meta where Slash was king, and Glaive Prime has guaranteed Slash proc. You can still use Glaive Prime, but Zorus is better. Because melee influence is better, and Slash has been indirectly nerfed. Enemy armor went down, enemy hit points went up. Yeah. Slash is just a lot weaker than it used to be. Or rather, no, yeah, it is a lot weaker than it used to be. And everything that isn't Slash is stronger than it used to be. And then melee influence go burr. Yeah, Zorus just wins. Okay, aside from Burston, let me think. I do like my more semi-precision weaponry, but then there is the Tenet Envoy. Envoy. I always say Envoy. I'm going with Envoy. But let's go with the Latron Incarnon real quick. And let's swap this back over to standard build. Not going to be casting abilities again. Nope. Lee Throw saying 2 buttons for a single action doesn't sound natural. It's 2 actions. Throw, detonate. Don't understand... Oh, God. More essays. More essays! Don't understand why there's also that heavy explode part, because it's 2 actions. As I said above, the logic is the problem. The logic is there. You're choosing to not agree with it. You don't understand if heavy attack through harder? It does. You do the heavy attack, it's a detonation, it's a bigger detonation than the normal detonation. You don't get why you need another button in the middle of the animation. It's not in the middle, it's after you've done the throw animation, it's when you want to detonate it. Even in Tenakai, you don't have 2 buttons in a single animation. That's because you're doing one action, just swing harder, after having swung less hard, which is a separate button. Sorry, Litero, I'm just going to have to tell you you're wrong on this one. Like, you don't like it? That's fair to say. To say it has no logic is wrong. It's just straight up wrong. You're doing different things. Glaives are bouncing weapons by default. You throw them, they hit the enemy. If they have bounces remaining, they can bounce towards other enemies. At the end of their total travel time or end of their bounces, they have a natural explosion. They then return to the person who threw it. They can return sooner if you recall it, if you wish to go through that, but the basic one is just throw. If you don't even hold it, you just tap attack, you will just chop with it. It's really shit that way. That's why people don't do it. But it does have just the basic attack to it. When detonating, you're doing a new action. You're changing the process that is happening right now. So there's no lack of logic to it at all. Quite the opposite. If it always heavy exploded the moment it touched something, that would take away from what some people do with them. The current meta is just heavy explode as soon as it reaches the group you want it to reach, because that is bloody powerful. But it's not the only way they can be used. If you want to see more of that, I'd say check out the Kestrel video I did. Kestrel Prime, that is. But something tells me you're just not going to be interested, because it's another glaive. Oh yeah, when it comes to Exodia Contagion, now that is an interesting series of inputs. That is certainly an interesting series of inputs to make Exodia Contagion happen. And then even more so when you remember that it has its damage bonus explosion after reaching a certain distance. That's a funky one. You hated that too? That's fine, Litro. You've made it very clear you do enjoy just holding down the letter E, and if that's how you want to play Warframe, you go right ahead. No one here is going to stop you, or even challenge you, for choosing to use the letter E as your first, second, third, and only means of playing a mission. DE have designed it that way, DE, and so go ahead. Enjoy it. But glaives aren't illogical. Hotfix! Well, I didn't report this bug, so... Well, yeah.
Got a solid move. Abandoned supply cache.
There's stuff up here. Where is it? There it is. Load it up. Stuff down here.
Into the cache before it's smoked. See? Supply cache flipped into
Nope, supply cache has already targeted me. Where is this one? Hold up.
Open that thing and the
This way.
will get riled up. Crazy.
That felt like a slightly unnecessary jaunt, but we got here. It's down this tunnel. Here we go. There we are.
Proper pissed off.
How are those things moving like that? My god, even Red Tex is writing essays today. Red Tex. Bruh. Let's just paint everything in explosions. Ooh. Thank you for the recharge. I needed more explosions. Go ahead and enjoy your explosions. Just basically cook the entire room. Yeah, this continues to be an obnoxiously effective AoE. Nothing left to shoot to charge on. There we go. What's red text about anyway? A patch, which we'll have a look at once I'm out of this mission. Jesus, posting some absolute essays. Half charge, it'll do for this group. I wonder if Red Tex has managed to get region chat to Awu again. That was certainly a thing. Alright, mission complete. 234 kills out of 190. Yeah, perfect sense. Ooh, got a turn. There we are. I think I got out just before it told me not to. 336, pretty nice completion time. That is 180 plus 36, 216 for... How many kills was it? 234. Only 65 KPM, which is good. Not amazing, but still good. Excuse me. Right, let's have a look at this, shall we? Ugh. The Runa Prime hotfix is coming in. We've introduced the new Warden Sidearmor on Monday that really wanted to make sure you don't miss it. Forget everything else. All you need to see is that glorious new cape. For some reason, you'll request the ability to see your actual mission and enemies with it equipped. So, fine, we fixed it. Having a really weird sense of deja vu for some reason. Probably indigestion. Looks like some of you figured out how to take Stalker from the Operation Belly of the Beast and use him in regular missions. If you know anything about his lore, you know he absolutely does not have time for this. I know it's really funny to see him face off against an Eidolon, but he has responsibilities now, okay? The time for lollygagging is officially over. 2016 is back, baby! We've updated the Secure Elector's bonus credits to also apply on kills from damage over time effects from the weapon, even if it's not wielded upon their death. Yes, the Secure Elector was released 10 years ago. No, I'm not having an existential crisis. Why are you asking? Varuna Prime hotfix, indeed inbound. Let's reshrink that text down again. There we are. Right, well, that is going to be deploying, and then we can certainly dive into more bits and pieces with that, I suppose. Oh yeah, Secure Elector getting a little bit of a consistency buff. You'll love to see it. That is something I can attend to later. That is something I can attend to later. Red Text is a good time for me to check things. What exactly are they fixing? We'll see the patch notes when they publish them in just a moment. They always tend to post the patch notes only once the patch has gone live. 10 years ago? That's what they're saying. I trust them to post that correctly, but let's have a look. Secure Elector release date 15th of September 2016. Yep. It's been a hot minute. It has been a hot minute. We just need to wait for that to deploy. Once it's fully deployed, we'll be able to close up the game, grab the details, and continue on. And then after that, once we're in, I'm going to go with the Tenet Envoy. Try to shoot a few things. Yeah, mix it up. Let's say it's currently set to Toxin Blast. What the hell? I mean, I'm not against it, I'm just surprised. There's got to be something better I could put on here if I've got Bulwark with Restoration. Now, normally my go-to would be bladed rounds, but that's not going to work here because I ain't going to aim with the Envoy. That's a horrible idea. Let's see, if I do that, I've got all the capacity, so I can do whatever I want. I'll grab the update in just a sec, I'm thinking. I'm thinking... I don't like it, but I don't hate it, given what else I have as an option. Yeah, I'll do that. Alright. Okie dokie. Looks like it's time to grab the update. Let's go ahead, log out and grab that. Are the patch notes live as well then? They probably should be. Yes, indeed. Okay. Community customizations. Events no longer blocked by other events and operations. Secure elect bonus when not trigger if the enemy died with DOT, even if the weapon was not currently equipped. Also fixes edge cases on it triggering multiple times on one enemy. Updated the signed data. And then a bunch of little fixes, which I'm just going to very quickly read through. Nothing else we need to worry ourselves with. Cool. Nothing else we need to worry ourselves with. Okay, we're back at it. Come on. There it is. We're back at it. Right. Didn't remember what I had equipped. Looks good. Looks good. Alright, let's do this. Blow up some stuff. Lavos absolutely ignoring every law when it comes to lane control. Ungovernable, as ever. Man, that is blapping through these. We love to see it. The slow reload is what it is, but, you know, not too concerned when it does this amount of blappage. You can see why this is one of the most used weapons.
Scout your supply cache in the area. You get near, it will start ticking. Self-destruct. Need to be quick to get the goods.
Quick little reload. That triggered the supply cache. 240 meters to it. Let's make our way over. Blow up stuff in the process because we can. Alright, this one's a little bit of an awkward one. I'm trying to remember where all the pickups are, but I should be able to find them. Oh wait, no. It's this tile. I know where they are. One is here. There we go. And then the other one is at the back. Right there. Ew.
Proper pissed off. Hitters coming out of every nook and crook.
Honestly, as far as supply caches go, that one's a nice, easy one to handle. Ah, there's a bloody Guardian Xmas. These really, really screw up something like the Envoy. Perish! 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 I damn you! There we go, right. Now back to our regularly scheduled program of Obliterate Everything. Much better. Yeah, normally I'd recommend for Guardian Xmas, switch to your Precision Secondary to take them out. Something like that, but that is not the goal here, so screw that. No, not another. Not another. Oh, they're so resistant. Trying to shoot over the top of the shields. There we go. And we're good.
Gonna mess with the hex now. Not Scaldra, not Tech Rock. You feel me? Now extract yourself.
Still sounds rude.
Your will was greater.
Alright, 3 minutes 39. Pretty good turnaround. That's 219 seconds. Kills 250. That was a 68.5 kpm. Better even than the Latron Incarnon, and that's with those Guardian Xmas getting in the way. Very nice. So you've been asking, so they didn't change anything on Veruna herself in the hotfix that just happened? No. If you're wondering why it said Veruna Prime hotfix and didn't change Veruna in the Veruna Prime hotfix, it's because the current update is called Veruna Prime. It's nothing to do with what they're changing. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so current takeaway from all these bits and pieces. Melee exposure run, I got, and I'm only doing single trips here, so this is going to be imperfect information, but melee exposure, single run, 55 kpm. My standard Zoris was 86, Zoris with Lavos super priming, 94, Latron Incarnon was 65, Tenet Envoy was 68. In previous tests, melee influence Inodem was a 73, Burst and Blast was 67, a magnetic toxin Inodem without any kind of support was 65, pure toxin was 60.6, pure electric was 57.9, and viral was 52.5. Overall, we can see where the general impact of everything lies. I did also do a run with magnetic toxin and vortex. We just grab Inodem there, so it looked like, yeah, that build with this on it to see if scooping the enemies up would help with the kill rate, especially with this very high 90% follow through. It actually nerfed it. Not by a lot. Not by a lot, but it did do worse than when I didn't have the arcane equipped. Now this could be random variance in the mission tiles, causing just a weird result, but it does show that if it is providing any actual benefit, it is so negligible in an exterminate mission as to be basically ignorable. In combination with the Inodem, that is. So, that's not great. That is not great at all. If it was indeed nerfing it, I'd surmise because of the busy nature of the underground tile sets, it was probably causing some enemies to get stuck on terrain rather than run to me. Excuse me. So that was, yeah, just not a good result. Simply put, just not a good result. What I haven't tested so far, to my satisfaction, is more of those kinds of setups in other areas. but I still find myself looking at the rest of the arcanes and going, super niche. This is one I keep looking back, I'm like, when would I want to use it? Because on heavy attack on the Inodem, for example, the heavy attack's already killing. So we don't need an arcane to give it more. And if the heavy attack doesn't kill for some reason, I would rather use melee influence to spread the power elsewhere, or melee exposure if my target is a single target and needs just even more power putting into them. Hello Dens, I have no idea what emote you tried typing there. I don't think we have that plugin on this channel. But welcome on in. The only one of these arcanes I'm so far warming up to as a possibility is melee fortification. And that is simply because it provides something the others don't. Offense, 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 crowd control, kind of, but not really, so it's mostly offense. Kareen offers a defense of a sort, freezing enemies, but it's also an offensive arcane. Melee fortification is purely defensive. It's the only melee arcane that's pure defense. Granted, with those base kill rates of the toxin setup, for example, the magnetic toxin, 65 kpm, that is, what's that, about 10 to 11 kills per 10 seconds? That's not a bad amount of armor, honestly. But you know what? Let's run that. Mind if I shoot you a couple questions and essay some? Okay. Questions, I'm okay with. When you then say, and essay some, I'm concerned as to what questions you're about to ask. But I mean, you can, within reason, always ask. I just might not give a full or complete answer in the way you're looking for it. Yeah, you're welcome to ask. Within reason. Someone mentioned something about finishers on this. What was that? Finishes increased damage reduction. Oh, that effect. Sorry. Are you still here? Whoever said they were surprised I don't use the finisher bonus on the Inodem. Are you still here to explain? Were you meaning the up to 40% damage reduction? Surely. Surely not. Also, I just realised I've gone through a lot of tea. I'm going to be back in just a moment before I sit down for this next set of missions and essay questions. BRB, chat. No drones. Alright. Thank you very much for holding. We can get back to our Warframes. Let's see, Brother Oni and Plasma Storm both just couldn't resist, could you? Couldn't resist. How dare. Right. Let's get back on with this. So, melee fortification. I want to see what kind of armor bonus I do end up maintaining with this. Excuse me, gods. That curry was like 2 hours ago. How is this still happening? Quickie from Dying Hermit. Short backstory. Like to take bigger breaks between playing Warframe. Got some catching up to do. Also, hot time change loadout. Corvex Sturk. Looking for a new set of weapons and companion. Not sure what to go well with. Wow, okay, yeah, you're right. You've got a lot there. Okay. Dying Hermit. Weapons, Incarnans, take your pick. There are different Incarnans, they work in different ways, so it's more take your pick as to what works nicely for you, but Incarnans are basically what you're looking at. If you're looking at stuff that works well with punch through, basically just maybe dodge the explosive ones, but otherwise, yeah, Incarnans. Primary, secondary, melee, take your pick. As for Corvex build, I believe I have a Corvex guide. At the same time, I don't build for level cap. If you're looking for level cap shenanigans, that is a different kind of building compared to building for, you know, the normal game. Because level cap has a obscene tank demand that just changes the entire way you should be setting up your frames. It's an extension beyond balance at that point. And I don't make guides for level cap. It's just a teeny tiny part of the Warframe community in general. And to me, just unrewarding, so yeah, I just don't make guides for it. Yeah, it was a late Inadem mission we're doing now. Yeah. Very good points on, yeah, absolutely. If you are looking for further builds that I've not covered, you can always ask on the Discord, !Discord, for a link to that. We do have a viewer build section, so if you're looking for builds and I haven't got you covered, someone in the community may well have something for you. Alright, Inadem melee fortification. We'll be glancing at the fortification amount from time to time, to just kind of keep tabs on how much fortifying it does. Oops, I wanted to explode rather than go invis, but whatever. This'll do. I've got 4 stacks of it at the moment. 5, 6, 5... Have I tried to correlate kills in profile stats with the other kill counts? I have not, Ellen, no. I fear that even more mind-bending stuff might happen with starting to correlate things. And honestly, all that would prove is either one of those things happens to then correlate with those, or none of them do. It wouldn't make any one of them true or useful. I mean, here's a more broad question for you. Which matters more? The number of enemies I actually killed, or the number of enemies I was required to kill according to the extermination tracker? Which actually matters more? Because say I kill 500 enemies, but only 2 of them count for exterminate, I might as well have not killed the over 498, right? That was just a waste of time. But by the same token, if I'm measuring the effectiveness of a weapon and it can get all of those kills and get all of that loot and affinity, and it's just an exterminate tracking bug, then in all other missions like survival, those 498 kills would matter. So, which kill count matters? And then if we wanted to get really tinfoil hatty, when the game counts kills differently, is it because different enemies are actually genuinely different to the others that did get counted? Like, are their loot tables different? Are they unable to drop resources to avoid undue farming or whatever defensive mechanisms there might be in Warframe? Could we be knocking on the door of anti-abusive mechanics? As an average player, how would we even know? How would we work with such information in a way that isn't considered abusive in itself? It's very murky. I'm currently on 28 stacks of the armor bonus. It hit a peak of 28 there. At 210 per stack, that's, what, like nearly 6,000 armor? Did I see FC's new slogan? Is it even new?
How are we doing on this fine day?
Yo, Sir Molson, thank you very much for the 19 months of support. Or is it 20 months of support? Maybe it's 23, but it's probably 19. All the same, welcome in once again there, Smolson. Much appreciated. Hope you're doing well today. Why is the Acolyte not attacking me? Come attack me, you idiot. No, don't teleport away from me. Attack me, you idiot. What a shitty Acolyte. Invades the mission. Decides he doesn't want it. What a travesty that was. FC's new slogan, our mission is to create virtual worlds more meaningful than real life. I mean, as Helmar said in the post, oh, we got the kills, As Helmar said on that post, death is meaningful. It's like, if that's your one and only guiding principle, death is meaningful? Ew. Not gonna lie.
You exist to strike. You strike
4
to
minutes,
win.
53 seconds. That? Yeah, that's about what we're expecting there, isn't it? Yeah. Saturday is 293 seconds for 282 kills. 57.7 KPM. Excuse me. Today, oof. That was melee fortification doing, honestly, yeah, melee fortification stuff. Can you buy the component blueprints from Samaris? Oh, you're replying to Zom. Samaris see a chroma blueprint despite them being junction rewards. Which blueprint are you missing, Zom? And yeah, you should be able to get them from Samaris, but they're not going to be cheap.
The multitude of creatures
I got to 100k standing with Samaris. I've actually just kept it there so that if I discover something, I go, oh crap, I need something from him, I can get it. Standing limit go burr. Okay, no, I take it back. These ones are actually pretty cheap. 25k per piece. That is doable in a day. Thank goodness for that. If it's Chroma's main blueprint, that's 2 days, but still relatively manageable. Now, if it turned out that you'd somehow lost your sacrificial mod, oh boy. Where do you get Clamora Prism, Proper Scaffold, Certus Brace? Not sure, can't remember the names of them. You get 1, 2, 3, and 4 from Cetus, 5, 6, and 7 from Fortuna. For more details on those, I highly recommend you read the wiki. Or check out my amp guide on YouTube, but for just locations, wiki. Wiki's faster. Zom doesn't have the systems. Has a chassis crafted, neuro blueprint, and no systems. Zom, how do you do these things? How do you engage with Warframe? Like, Ray, as much as I may not fully understand, is at least consistent. You are an enigma. You managed to run out of absolutely basic resources while farming the hell out of other more exotic items, and now you manage to have Chroma in 3 different states of existence despite having completed the entire star chart. And you've also not done Sands of Anaros. Well, Zom, when you do Sands of Anaros, please make sure you scan the Kavats for the genetic codes. You may as well get that. Oh, gods. I'm trying to remember, Zom. What material was it you ran out of? It was something that was needed for ciphers, wasn't it? It was... Yes! Wasn't it nanospores you ran out of, Zom? Yeah, nanospores. For anyone curious as to the kind of Warframe player Zomtronic is, they're the kind of person who will literally run out of nanospores. Granted that building 100 ciphers takes 36,000 of them, so I could do that for 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 ciphers. I would run out of nanospores. Yeah. 20,000 ciphers. I would run out of nanospores. Granted, I'd have run out of ferrite first. Zom is just that bad at hacking. Basically. Oh dear. I'm actually pretty stocked on all these, that's fine. Cool. Kill. My project... Sorry, I completely messed up that name. Let me try it again. My Hara project, I think that is, saying, as much as I appreciate subject matter experts like yourself, care, the available documentation, even pretty pictures, extensive immediately available. I assume you're on about the amps there, and that's why I said, yeah, if it's just questions of where is X, X is there, yeah, you go to the wiki. Yeah. You never seen those multiple blueprints? Oh, well, have I got news for you. You can indeed build restores, ciphers, and various other bits and pieces in bundles. I believe these energy restore ones and the like, they come from the Clan Dojo. So yeah, check out your Clan Dojo and have a look for the 100s. Get yourself a whole bunch of pizzas in a single minute's worth of build. It doesn't give you a discount on the cost, but it gives you a hell of a lot less clicking to do. Yeah. Once again from Hermit, got another question. Understand you're able to fuse Tenet encoded weapons. Yep. Should I see what the store offers and just fuse them until I get high enough, or should I fish for high progenitors? Also, if I fuse them, should they have the same progenitor? Okay. So, there's a few things going on at once there. For Tenet encoder ones, they come from different sources. Tenets, you can get some of them from Ergo Glass. Some of them come from Sisters of Parvos. You can't find a crossover of the two. They're entirely separated. So for the Tenet Envoy, for example, you have to get it from a Sister of Parvos, which means you can't just wait for a good one to roll around. You get what you get. If you want to have a high roll straight away, you have to trade for it. For the Coda weapons and the purchasable Tenet weapons, what you need to do instead is obviously buy it from the vendor. The vendors are on a rotation every few days. In Eleanor's case, she has a flip-flop of half the shop and the other half the shop. Still an insane choice as far as I'm concerned. Which means that you could be waiting a while for a high roll to come around, but at the same time, you could also just save your currency and wait for the high roll. It's more a matter of choice to yourself. Do you want to wait on the currency to save how much you spend, or would you rather get there as quickly as possible, RNG be damned, in which case you do more farming? It's up to you where that balance exists and how much fun you have with those systems. And as for the last thing, do they have to be the same progenitor? No. When you fuse together two weapons, what happens is you choose your existing one, like this one here. You would go into your actions, and then if you have another available surveillance fuse, you would select it through this, and that would say, okay, which weapon do you want to destroy? Very important to you make sure that you are doing the action on the one you want to keep in terms of former, catalyst, those kinds of upgrades. The one you destroy and the one you combine will then come together and let you choose which element do you want to keep. Do you want to keep the one on your built one, or do you want to keep the element on the one you're sacrificing? And despite that, once you've got them to max level anyway, you can apply a what they called an elemental vice to then just freely change the type at will. You could just do that once you've fully ranked it and added on the vice. Just like that. So yeah, Valence Fusion will always give you the higher of the two bonuses, multiplied by 1.1, up to the limit of how high they can go in general. You pick which element out of the two, if indeed they're different, and you can just switch the elements later once you've fully ranked it and applied an elemental vice. I think that should have you all covered on that, Dying Hermit. Much appreciated!
Thank you very much. You help me, I help you.
Yeah, that seems like a completely fair trade to me. Thank you very much for the resubscription, no less. Up on 2 months, you got that lovely bronze badge next to your name. And I didn't even have to sell out and show for it. Thank you. Several days later saying, is it only one of those needed per weapon for the elemental vice? Yeah. So it's just like an Arcane Catalyst or an Arcane Reactor. Once you put it in, you have the bonus forever. So that's why I'm happy to just freely hit the action here, because it is free. I'm not spending platinum or resources or any kind of thing doing that. I can just change it to what I want it to be, completely at will. So if you did want to go from a toxin-based build to having a electric-based one, bam, done, just like that. You only see 2 elements there, is there more? Huh? You missed them? What do you mean you missed them? Were you covering half your screen? Everyone is having a day, Tom. You're very right, yeah. You were looking at my operator build at the same time. Right, so you didn't miss them, you just weren't looking. Got it, okay. I can only see part of the screen. Does that mean the rest of the screen doesn't exist? You may need to get yourself checked for object permanence. That really tickles me with that one. Oh, thank you. That's a good one. Oh boy. Alright. Do not overstress the point. What happened, I got through here? I'm losing the ability to breathe now. Alright, let's... Veritable arsenal, but what to pick? I know. Let's go for a classic. How classic is classic? Ooh. 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 That might be a little bit too classic, I'll be quite honest with you. Yeah, let's make some changes. Hold on. Check, I'm breaking nothing. Yeah, sure, it's fine. A V polarity for the win on melees anyway. Something unleveled? Well, I mean, this is unleveled now. There you are, you. Then it is you. No, wait, nope. It is you. I want that. There we go. Yep. And for some reason, this is a downranked reach. Boop. And let's swap you out. I prefer this at the moment. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, there's going to be enough range. Like, as much as that does give more range. Nah, I like the consistency. It gives me a nice tempo. Okay. With no further adjustments, let's just see how well that does. It's not an Incarnon. Bit old school. No Elementalist? Apparently not. Apparently not. Hey. Oh, that is a blast. Why are you sliding away from me? What was that movement? It's just not even animating its legs, just straight up Garrow slide away. What do I recommend using Omniformer for? Honestly, use it if you've got them. Just wherever you might have a polarity clash at some point, just throw it in there. Because they're expensive. They're not easy to come by. But if you have got a whole bunch of them, thank you, Miralabe. I know you're not with us at the moment, but thank you anyway. If you've got them, they just make your life easier on not having to worry about polarity matching all the time. When it comes to melee weapons, V polarity is absolutely king. When it comes to primaries and secondaries, V polarity is still solid, but then there are more use cases for others these days. V is still strong. But on Warframes, yeah, you can have such a variety that, oh, hold on, there it is. That putting at least one Omni into a frame can do a lot to make it just easy. Let's go grab the other one. I grabbed the easy one. Now the harder one is, I think, up here. This side, take a right. There it is. Drop back down. Slide into here. But nice and easy. Ta-da!
Hitters coming out of every nook and crook. I say, let them come.
There's so many things on my minimap and none of them are nearby, except for like these two. Where are the rest of y'all at? I demand you attack me more fervently, damn it. Not you, Polaraska. No. I was clearly speaking to the Tekrot and you know it. So unless you yourself are Tekrot, no. No attacking, chat. Not allowed. Should not need to specify this. What does Zom use for a keyboard? What Zom uses for a keyboard? I can't say for certain. I don't know if Zom will know, but I know how Zom operates the keyboard. They do it Eleanor style. For those of you who have read that particular Kim chat, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't, you can probably put 2 and 2 together knowing what Dee do with Eleanor. Come on, where's the next trigger? There it is. I knew one had to be nearby. Darko Blueprint grind's wearing you down? Yeah, it is a bit of a grind, isn't it? I'll be honest, out of all of it, it wasn't necessarily the grind that got me for Noko. It was the incessant transmission chatter because of the constant bounty stages and picking up mushrooms. Which also was mildly frustrating because they just had no rhyme or reason to be in the places they were. That's like... Can we not have the same repeated, frankly nonsense voice lines every single pickup? Imagine if Lotus popped up every time you picked up a an Orokin cell or an Argon crystal and just gave you a little bit of trivia about them. The first 3 times you'd be like, oh cool, I didn't know that. The next 27 million? Yeah.
Worst of it. Now come on home, fam.
Do I remember operator lines? I turned them off. That is how much honor I fight with. Oh yeah, hearing important or entertaining lines, like with Nefanyo just losing his sanity, that's great. We call that one a no no no. Yeah, I figured that because it popped up on my screen a no no no. This is a 27th no 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 I picked up. Please, shut it. Yeah. 303 kills in 5 minute 44. Is... Oh, that was pretty slow. 52.8 kpm. That was pretty slow. Actually, that's the second slowest I have on my records here. Not counting scuffed runs, the only one slower was let me see here. Yeah, the only run I have slower than that is when I was using Melee Vortex or the Heat Bursters. There's a couple runs slower. Damn. Exactly, Project, yeah, exactly. And like I say, because the lines are constant, you don't really get a reprieve from it. That's what was getting me there. It's just line after line after line after line, to the point that they could be like 4 or 5 stacked out of sync with what's going on. Yeah. Not a fan. Okay. That, though, it gives me even more points. Explains more about... I was going to say explains more about what's going on, but no, it explains more about how things are breaking, because numbers go burr. Yeah. Even that mission just gone. Just that definitely wasn't an objective to get 303 kills, but somehow we got 303, and that does not add up to 303. How much does that one add up to this time? That is 26 plus 89 plus 35, 19, 24, 45, and 1 mania. 239 kills. I have no idea what the other 64 kills could be. More than 20% of my kills are null. Oh, it's a wonder we can figure out anything in this game. Companion? Companion hasn't got a ability to attack. Also, I got 302 melee kills, so we could see that those kills were mine. I did them. But it still doesn't know what they were. Or if it does, it doesn't want to tell me. And this text box definitely can go bigger, so it's not like it ran out of lines either. It's... The game is shrugging at me. Xmas kills? Xmas kills show up as well. Also, I did not kill 60 Xmas in one mission. So, nope. Nope, not that. Yeah. We'll leave that one to DE to figure out. Doesn't Mania spawn little drones, or is that a different acolyte? It doesn't spawn 60 of them only. I don't know how many times I need to reiterate. There are 60 missing kills. 1 or 2 here or there is not going to answer it. What about those little Tech Rock Might things? There we go. You can tell the people who weren't here at the start of the mission, start of the stream, can't you? So, would you be on about the Tech Rock Miasmites by chance, Parma Farmer? All 45 of those Tech Rock Miasmites. Yeah, we've been down this road. It's all good. It just doesn't add up. And it's missing details, and that is definitely DE's side to figure out. Because it's completely inconsistent, and it's in other missions as well. It's not just that mission. Yeah. It's a funky one. Aside from status, perhaps? But under a quick damage window, which didn't end up as melee kills, not sure though. But they did end up as melee kills, because they're listed there as melee kills. So it's not that either. That would account for 1, not 64 missing. What if it was the ones I killed before they spawned the eggs, that is? The blue ones? It might be that it's counting some eggs in here as well. I don't know if you can actually kill those eggs in that mission, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you can. Or if they just get destroyed. There's a lot going on. Like, I'm going to point you at the entire 3 hours of stream where no one has a convincing answer. Does Destructible Decor count as kills? I blew up a car at the start of the mission and it wasn't a kill. So, probably no, but also... Because welcome to... The game is just not telling us. We also consider things like those little latchers that Seekers deploy. Because, you know, are they enemies? Aren't they enemies? Well, it turns out they also appear just like Miasmites in the listing. Only if I kill them. If I didn't kill them, they don't appear, but also they don't count, so they're not the issue at all. We've had a look at a lot of things. The answer is, it's bugged. It's bugged to absolute fuck. The kill count is different to the listed kills, is different to the kills needed to complete the mission. It's bugged. Right. Seeing as we have managed to find no suitable conclusion the entire time, we're just going to have to very disappointingly move on to doing a giveaway, shan't we? Wake of Farm Primary Acuity? I can't remember. You're going to need to go to the wiki for that one. But good news is, there is an official wiki. You don't have to deal with some fandom crap. You can deal with the actual, proper Warframe.com hosted wiki. And now I have your answer right there. Always faster than asking streamers where to find a mod when you could... Yeah, it's there. Right. let's set us up a giveaway. Where's my giveaway button? Now, as I'm getting this loaded up, I also have some giveaway news for y'all. Giveaway news. For those of you who are already on the Discord, so if you're not already on the Discord, well, you'll want to join to make sure you don't miss out in the future. Those of you already on the Discord have the chance to win yourself a TennoCon digital pack for this year's TennoCon. So that includes the Regal Ire, the Platinum, all the different accessories, the cosmetics, and it includes the Barrow relay ticket. So you can go ahead and get the Super Barrow when TennoCon rolls around. So if you're already on the Discord, make sure you go into the announcements channel to have a chance to win that. It is only through the Discord where you can enter into that one. But here, right now, we're about to have a simple 75 plat giveaway. So let's kill the out of giveaway music, let's get rid of my camera, let's open up the draw. Exclamation mark enter into the chat for a chance to win 75 plat. This is given out by DE, they do it in batches every couple of weeks, so it's as simple as entering in and letting me know what name I'm passing over to them. Exclamation mark enter for a chance to win that 75 plat. Ali, you saying it's not the only giveaway for the digital pack among people they're following. Yeah, but hey, if you're in the position where you can purchase a ticket for yourself, it leaves it open for others to enjoy and indulge. What is everyone entering? Welcome to the stream! You've either just arrived or just unmuted. This is a giveaway for 75 Platinum as provided by Digital Extremes, so exclamation mark enter into the chat for a chance to win 75 Plat. Doesn't matter if you're on PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, iOS, Android, or some other platform that somehow connects up that I didn't mention yet, if maybe. I think I got them all. All the same, don't matter what platform you're on, exclamation mark enter, everyone has the same chance of winning. They already did enter? Okay, that's even more fun. You entered and then asked what you were entering. Oh. Hey guys, why is everyone jumping off the bridge? They say mid-air. When in Rome? Sure. Sure. I should give away a trip to the meat grinder? I mean, I could create 2 commands, and so long as at least half of people use one of those commands, no one goes to the meat grinder. But then if more than half of everyone chooses the other command... you know, we could do that. I inflict misery once again with my references. Exclamation mark enter in the chat for a chance to win 75 plat, completely button free. My brother is a postdoctoral researcher in psychology, and I made him aware of the whole button thing going around because he is not as terminally online as me. He started breaking out some very complicated theories of mind that I was unaware of, and also got very agitated at the way I was framing it. Suffice to say, he did not like the premise, and wanted to tear it to pieces. Which, you know, valid. But there we are. Alright, last chance to get in on this. Exclamation mark enter in the chat for a chance to win 75 plat. We'll be doing the draw in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's draw. Alright, only one of you will be the winner of this today. Only one person will be taken away of the 75 platinum. Who's it going to be? If you see yourself at this stage of the game, I've got bad news for you. You are being obliterated by the fragmented one instead. Only one person can be the winner. It's going to be the person who arrives once the fragmented runs out of shots. That person is Maxayolo3.
Excellent work, Tenno. The extraction point is up ahead.
Maxayolo3. Congratulations! You are our winner of the 75 Platinum today here. But we don't have your details on record, so Maxayolo3, exclamation mark IGN, followed by your platform and username, please. So we know exactly where do you need to send those bits and pieces over to. That'll arrive in your in-game inbox within the next couple of weeks, so long as you give me the correct information. Simple as that. Exclamation mark IGN, and if you are not a winner, you can still use the IGN command to save your details for future giveaways as well. Once it's logged, it is logged forever. Keeps it nice and simple that way. Absolutely. Maxiolo has indeed used the command. Perfect. Like I say, look forward to that within the next couple weeks. Now, one final thing before we do a wrap up here today as well, because indeed we are coming towards the end of stream. I'm going to ask a very stupid, almost rhetorical question, but let's ask it anyway, for the engagement's sake. Would you lot like more giveaways? Would you like more free stuff? I'm thinking you probably would. So, I am working out the final details, the kinks and bits and pieces of it, but we are going to have a return of the previously named, and probably will still be named, Hype Bonus Giveaways. I need to come up with a better name for that, I hate it. Suffice to say, when we hit hype trains on this channel, if we reach certain levels, certain additional giveaways will be reached as well. No, not if half the people say yes. God damn it. And Maxiolo3, thank you very much for dropping your prime here. Much appreciated. Enjoy your lovely blue sub badge and all the other bits and pieces that come along with that there. Cheers indeed on that. But yes, I'm going to be doing a return of the additional giveaways, completely free to enter giveaways, when we hit hype trains on Warframe streams on this channel. Like I say, I'm figuring out the exact details, both to make sure that it's interesting and also to make sure that it's not going to ruffle any feathers in terms of TOSs and laws. But I'm thinking, you know, former bundles, omniformers, riven slots, 30-day booster, and if it go far enough, if we see the level of support required for it, perhaps even additional Tenacon digital packs. The entire pack. So, yes, indeed. That is the idea in there. If we go ahead with that. We said yes without knowing what you were giving away. Yes, I am looking to give away glitter bombs. So if you win the next giveaway, I will send glitter to your address. It will explode and will coat your bedroom forever. Why is it in your bedroom? Because it's just that evil. Yeah, you all agreed to it. You didn't ask further questions. It was as simple as that. Alright, but with that, that is where we are indeed going to wrap it up today. Thank you very much everyone for joining in and watching me kind of lose my mind over Warframe math once again. I'll be live again on Friday, but not with Warframe. Instead, I'll be joined by two other Warframe creators. And indeed, it'll be myself, Your Lucky Clover, and Brozyme, seeing what the hell has happened in the Outlands. Things are getting a little bit speedy over there. I'll see you in the next one.